Hello, welcome once again mga ka-nerding sa isa na namang special episode ng Nerding With You podcast, ang podcast na kung saan I, Topz, the nerdy husband, tries to nerd out with his clueless wife,
Glendz.
Yeah, dito po ay pinag-uusapan namin ang anything about the pop culture world, movies, series, animes, comic books. Kahit yung asawa ko ay walang kakluk-kluk kung ano yung mga yon. So, welcome again sa aming podcast. And before that,
meron pong ipa-plug uli ang aking napagandang asawa na si Glenda. Go ahead.
Yes, as we always say, thank you sa lahat ng mga followers, continuous followers and supporters na nakikinig sa atin sa podcast and also sa nanonood sa atin sa YouTube, sa ating podcast. And if hindi ka pa namin mag-subscribe ka na sa aming YouTube channel,
yes,
sa aming podcast, and
yes,
also follow us in our podcast kung saan ka man kumukuha ng iyong or nakikinig. It's either Apple, Spotify, or wherever it is. And also follow us sa aming other social media page. We have FB, Twitter, and Instagram at Nerding With You.
Parang medyo melo ka, parang bumubulong ka.
Bumubulong ba?
Parang lang.
Hindi ko alam.
Okay. So,
baka nasa setting ng ano mo.
Wala. Yung tono mo. Anyways, so today, we are going to be talking about an MCU movie. Ito po ay walang iba kundi ang
The sudden return of the population provided the necessary energy for the emergence to begin.
You know what's never saved the planet? Your sarcasm.
When you love something, you protect it.
Eternals. Ano
yes.
ba to? Base ba to sa
everything that comes out pag
MCU, ano siya, base sa comic books.
So understandable na yon. So it came out last year, somewhere around November 2021, and now available na siya sa Disney Plus, at saka sa iba pang mga streaming platform, pero you need to pay extra. So this has been a very hindi man controversial, pero hati yung mga critics tungkol dito. Sabi it's a bad movie, yung iba naman it's okay, yung iba naman so lang. So today we're going to talk about that, but to help us dig deep dito sa movie ito, we will be joined by
we invited guest yung mga bata. Titingnan natin mga millennials. Titingnan natin.
Millennials pa ba sila may tuturing?
Kasi hindi pa na pala sila millennials. Gen Z.
Kasi below 20 years old, yes. May mga kaibigan po kaming teenagers.
Gen Z na ba sila?
I don't know kung anong tawag. Ano na lang po. Fact-check na lang.
So we will ask their opinion regarding dito sa movie.
Ano yung masasabi nila, ano yung napulot nila sa parang gusto namin makita kung anong
point
opinion
of view nila
ng isang bata, ng isang musmos.
Mga teenager, ganyan.
Pero meron pang twist. Alam mo ba kung anong twist dito? Ang twist po sa aming guest ay dito sila lumaki sa UK. They were born and raised here in the UK, and technically they're already UK citizen. So in short, mapapalabang po kami ng Inglesan. So pasintabi na lang po sa mga grammar teacher dyan. Obviously naman, hindi naman po
we're not that fluent in English.
We're not that fluent in English.
Hi, everything!
So, paki-correct na lang po, pakilagay na lang po ng mga notes and comments nyo kung pinapanood nyo ito sa YouTube, pakisend na lang po sa amin if you're listening this
comment
sa podcast.
Down below sa YouTube.
Kung ano ba yung kailangan namin itama, if we're using the word anyway.
Okay na lang.
Basta ganun.
Kayo na po ang bahalang magtama
kasi
and correct in our grammar.
Since dito lumaki itong mga batang ito, sobrang tatas nila sa English. So, in short, meron kaming nakatabing tissue so that we'll be able to stop the bleeding from our nose. So, huwag na po natin patagalin. With that, we say, welcome to our guests. Here are the Ilustre siblings. Here they are, the Ilustre siblings, Aidan and Aya Ilustre. Hello guys, welcome.
Hello.
Hi. So, are you guys good? Are you feeling okay?
Yeah, we're okay.
Yeah. So before we go into you know why you're here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna be talking about Eternals, but before that, and like what we mentioned a while ago in our intro, one way for us to really go deep into this movie is for you guys to come in, for you guys to help us understand, because probably there are things that we didn't get because the language is in English and we're Filipinos. Anyway, so before we go through that, can you introduce yourself? Tell them about yourself a little bit. You don't really have to say your whole history. Just just for the girls to know who Aiden and for the boys to know who Aya is. So go ahead.
All right, I'll start. Hi, ako po si Aidan.
Whoa, English. Tagalog.
You can speak in English, whatever.
Tagalog. Yeah.
Yeah, you can speak in English or
whatever's comfortable with you.
Yeah.
All right, I'll speak English then. Hi, I'm Aidan, and I have a YouTube channel.
Yo.
Yeah, it's called Aidanski. I've just posted my first video and it's about Spider-Man No Way Home, and I appreciate it. So I think you guys will enjoy it.
Yep.
We will put the link in.
Yeah, we'll put the link on the description if you guys are watching this on YouTube, so that people can go to that channel. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's hey. And I'm 14 years old.
Yeah.
So you're in year.
In year what? Are you in here? In
year 10 po.
Year 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Aya.
Hi, I'm Aya. I'm 17 and I'm in year 13 and I like movies.
So yeah, that's very simple.
What's your favorite
movie?
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I like cartoony kind of movies, so that movie is one of my favorites.
How about the classic, like movies that came out around the 80s or 90s?
If you watch any.
Or the early 2000s.
I like Breakfast Club. So that was one of my first classic movies I watched.
How about you, Aiden? Do you have any classic movies that you're
your favorite movie? What's your favorite movie?
Or what's your favorite movie?
I'm more of an action guy. So I like watching films like of course Marvel, Spider-Man No Way Home, and all that stuff. But I think the one movie that I really like the most is definitely Avengers Endgame.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a really good movie, and it finishes all of the characters' storylines really well.
Yep. How about any classic films that came out around the 80s, 90s, or early 2000s? Do you have any favorite during that era, or you see it as a very primitive era?
I like the Karate Kid. Yeah, the
original one. Ralph Macchio. Not the what's the name of Will Smith's son?
Yeah,
Jaden
Smith.
Jaden Smith, yeah, not that one, the original one. Okay, that's cool. Okay. Well, let's get into it. Let's talk about the Eternals. You have anything to add?
Tahimik lang daw.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about Eternals because, as you may have known, a lot of people or a lot of critics have different point of views regarding this movie. Some say it's the worst MCU movie. Others say that's okay. Others say it's right in the middle. So how about you guys?
How do you find the movie?
I know when it first came out back in 2021 on November, Aya went out to see that film in the theaters, wherein Aiden just watched it a few weeks ago or a few days ago.
Yeah,
when it's available in Netflix.
Disney Plus.
Sorry, Disney Plus.
Yeah, that's how clueless she is. Anyway, so how about first impression? What do you think about the film?
When I first watched it, I didn't have that much of expectations because I knew when I first watched it that there were lots of critics saying,
"Oh, it's a really bad movie. It's awful." That stuff.
And just 2 minutes straight in, I knew that it was going to be this film that's stuck in the middle.
Okay.
especially like the first few scenes with like Icarus and Cersei, like I felt like they didn't have that much of a chemistry.
Mhm.
Okay,
Or that
understandable.
a little bit.
Mhm.
And then like later on in the movie, I started to appreciate like the visuals
Mhm.
and how they balance your normal aspect ratio and
Mhm.
your IMAX ratio.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like the big scenes between like Erisham and Ajax were like pretty cool.
Yep.
And they made Erisham like more of this intimidating character.
Because it's like very massive, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I felt like some of the Eternals characters were like kind of wasted in the movie. Especially like Angelina Jolie's character, Fina, and Salma Hayek's Ajax.
Mhm.
Like those two actresses are like really big actors.
Yeah, Academy
Yeah.
Award winner and
Yeah.
nominee.
Mhm.
You could tell that they used those two actors for like money,
Mm,
like some areas.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah.
Yeah, to grab
promotional.
attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they didn't need Kingo because he was more like the comic relief character.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for Kingo, we wouldn't have the best character in the movie, Karun. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I agree. What's his name again? Karun?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Ballet. Gilgamesh is a really good character that was also wasted because he died.
Earlier.
Not early. I think it's
Like half of the movie.
second.
Yeah.
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 1/3.
And then, but the one character that I got really frustrated at was definitely Fastos. Like I was fine with his family subplot.
Mhm.
I don't. But in his first scene with Ajax, he was like, "Oh, they're not worth saving."
Mhm.
But guess what, Fastos? You have a family that are humans. So
Yeah. All of a sudden,
yeah,
he has a family,
Mhm.
which I totally get that.
yeah.
So overall, is it a good movie for you, or
I
let me rate it from
5.
1 to 5? 1 being
How
the
do you-
worst, obviously, and 5 being being
The
a-okay.
greatest.
What do you rank it?
if I compare it to all of the MCU movies, I give it a 2. But if I compare it to like every single Marvel movie I've watched,
Yeah.
I'll give it a 3.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's in the middle for me.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
okay. That's fair.
Mhm.
But we're gonna talk more about that a little later. All of the points that you've said.
Mhm.
But let's hear Aya's
Aya's point of view.
So I watched the movie in November,
Yeah.
and in the cinema, it was interesting to
Was
see
it like a date or something?
No, it was with my friends. It was a big group of
Your
friends.
friends. Sorry.
Never mind.
No.
Never
And,
mind them.
Your parents going to watch this, so you be very careful what you're about to say. Go ahead.
I was really excited to watch it because I saw Gemma Chan there, and she's one of
Yeah.
my favorite actresses.
Mm.
When I first watched it in the cinema, it was okay. I didn't really have an opinion on it.
Mhm.
I think it's definitely a movie you can watch without watching previous Marvel stuff. Like you don't have to know everything about Marvel to know what's happened in the movie, what's gonna happen in the movie.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I came out of there being like, oh, it was nice to see like these actresses that I liked and actors I liked. I don't like Icarus.
Mhm.
I don't like Icarus and Sprite. They're the only two characters that annoyed me, but I was happy for Sprite at the end.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Well, is the reason why you don't like Sprite and Icarus maybe because they're the villain, or right from the
Yes.
start you have
You don't like that.
you don't like them right away? Or-
I didn't expect Icarus to turn against them until like halfway through the movie. He started to seem a bit suspicious, so I started not liking him then.
Mm.
But Sprite just kind of annoyed me because he's like the same age as Aidan, so I was like,
reminded of your brother.
yeah, a little bit.
Oh, see, you ruined the movie for your sister. Anyway,
No.
yeah, I mean, I actually agree with what both of you said. Like all the points that Aiden, although because I rewatched it last night, and Glenda or Tita Glendz just watch it for the first time last night. I have the same opinion, or not opinion, but when it came out in the theaters, when I first watched it back in November.
Yeah, you also watch it in cinema.
Yeah, I watched it in the cinema. I was like, yeah, it's okay. I was kind of thinking at first why the critics was so harsh when it comes to judging or reviewing this film. But then rewatching it last night, yeah, then when I finally get to the movie, because to be honest, I'm really biased. I'm biased for Angelina because she's my ultimate crush.
She's her favorite actress.
That's one
and
reason why.
Crush.
Yeah, that's one
the reason why he.
Yeah, I risk my life because there's still COVID. We all do know that COVID is still going on.
That's why he risked.
I haven't
just
got
to
the
watch
booster
in the
shot
cinema.
yet. So I will watch this in the movie
because of Angelina.
Yeah, I hope Angelina Jolie is watching. Yeah, anyway. So when I came in the movie, watching it for almost 3 hours, right?
Like 2.5. Yeah.
2.5, yeah. I thought that it was okay. It was somewhere in the middle, just like what Aiden said. But then rewatching it last night, detaching myself from Angelina, we had a short breakup. I then realized that all of what the critic says do have some validity on it, because like what Aiden said, for example, Fastos, it was established right at the end, or almost right in the end, that Fastos already turned its back against humanity, but all of a sudden now he has a family. There's really, I know what they're trying to say, but they didn't show us enough for us to understand what they're trying to say. If you get what I mean.
How come does he had a family up?
Do you think it's fair what the critics are saying, especially Rotten Tomatoes, that they have given it like 50s? How many percent?
I think Aiden also watched it for two times.
You watched it twice, right?
Twice, right?
Both of us watched it twice.
Yeah.
Do you think that the critics are being too harsh? Because I don't know. What do you think?
I'm not sure.
Don't worry about bashers, because we're just going to the comments.
I rated it on Letterboxd a 3 because I thought that it wasn't the worst movie I've seen. There have definitely been worse movies. I don't know. I didn't really read much of like proper critics about it, because most of like the Letterboxd critiques are just like comments on the characters and stuff, and being Jurek and Makari are a great couple. I liked Jurek and Makari. They were my favorite couple. But
really,
yeah, I liked they were very cute out of all of the couples.
How about you, Aiden?
Like you said, Peter, some of the scenes, some of the critiques, had some kind of validity to it. And I honestly think they've gone like a bit too far. Like saying that it's the worst MCU movie is really harsh. There are other movies that are like worse.
But if you're going to compare it to all the MCU movies, is it the worst MCU movie ever?
No, I think that's for the Dark World, in my opinion.
Or maybe that's what we talked about when we were in the car.
Yeah.
The worst for you is Thor: The Dark World. Oh, really? Interesting.
Okay.
How about you? Do you have anything? What are your point of view?
Ayoko kasi
You speak in Tagalog na lang. Because they can understand Tagalog, by the way, you guys.
Yeah, Aiden is right. Parang I will speak Tagalog.
Do you want me to translate it?
That's okay.
You understand, right?
Okay.
Parang nasayang yung si Angelina Jolie at saka si Ajax.
Salma Hayek,
yes. Kasi honestly, big stars, kumbaga. But parang ang lang nung kanilang character sa movie, parang hindi masyadong nabigyan ng masyadong
emphasis or
hindi na highlight, kumbaga. I think the movie mas magiging okay pa siya. Meron pang i-improve yung movie, kumbaga. Kung medyo parang kasi hindi masyadong na-highlight. Although si parang mas maraming si Tina, 'di ba?
Tina?
Compared to
Angelina Jolie?
Ajak.
Okay.
Tina's character as compared to Ajak, I think.
Okay.
Parang kasi si Ajak parang more on na lang siya
Background.
backstory. Kasi ang aga niya namatay eh.
Okay. I
Right,
think that's
diba?
where the whole how the whole plot moves forward is knowing who killed Ajak, why she was killed.
More on flashback. Parang more on flashback na lang siya.
But yeah, okay. But I want to go back to what Aiden said a while ago, that he said Kingo is the worst character in the Eternals. Why?
Why?
I know that he was just there for comic relief.
Just to
But
light the...
can you give a little more? Can you elaborate more of why he's the worst? But we don't hate Kumail Nanjiani, by the way.
Yeah, he's a really good actor and a really good comedian.
He's a good comedian. So why do you? I don't want to say hate. Let's just use the word don't like. I think that's a more soft way of saying it.
I think Kingo for me is like that character that wastes time, and when it comes to like all the characters, he doesn't play like a big role in the story in the grand scheme of things.
But he's in most of it.
Yeah, he's in most of the scenes, especially between him and Icarus, and also he leaves during the final battle.
Yeah, he was bench.
He was a bench runner.
He benched himself.
Yeah,
like he abandoned his team.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm very loyal to my family, but I'm also loyal to Icarus as well. And
but doesn't that but he does make a point. I mean, he believes in what Icarus was saying. He said that Icarus was right, but at the same time he doesn't want to hurt his family, so he doesn't want to be in the middle. But don't you think what he did was right? Or
I can understand. I can understand why he did it. At first, I was really confused when I watched it in the cinema, and then yesterday I rewatched it and read some articles about Kingo and his character, and I understood where he was coming from, where he didn't want to result to violence like how Icarus was resulting to violence towards the other characters. But I don't think he's the worst character.
Yeah, who do you think is the worst character for you in Eternals?
Honest. I don't think there's any that was like poorly written. I think they all lacked there was not enough they didn't talk as much, or they didn't expand on each of their characters as much as they should have. But for me, the worst character is like, if I saw them on the street, I would get angry. It's like Icarus.
Icarus, not Sprite?
Not Sprite, because at least Sprite, I understood where she was coming from, where she was like, I want to grow up and live.
Okay.
But Icarus is just like, I'm loyal to Arisham, and it seemed like he didn't really, even though they viewed him as like a leader, he seemed more as a follower.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was telling
because
her
I'm
last night.
asking him why Icarus is acting like that, and then he said that's how
he was created in some way, because he is actually the perfect soldier,
like a soldier,
but at the same time he fell in love with Cersei, so he's actually having this internal battle or conflict, so to speak. So
conflict of interest, but still he chose to love. He chose love.
Do you think he's dead? Do you think he's dead?
Oh yeah, for sure. The sun is the sun.
He's super strong. He's like Superman.
I think he's dead. For sure.
So maybe they will be alive in other.
Maybe he'll be coming back. Would you want him to come back to redeem himself?
In other universe. Maybe they're alive in other universe.
I thought he would come back, like another version of him is out there in the universe. Like Arisham made another version of Icarus.
Yeah.
Have you read the comic book?
Yeah,
so how
you mentioned a while ago that you're reading articles. But do you know the original version of the Eternals, the comic book version? Have you any idea? How about you, Aiden? I know you like reading and watching nerdy videos, have you read about or heard about what the original Eternals are like in the comic books?
No, I haven't read the Eternals comic books. Like,
Have you read any articles or
Oh my God,
watched
Steve.
any videos from New Rockstars?
yeah, I have. Yeah.
So, because I just read an article a while ago comparing the comic book Eternals and the movie Eternals. For me, based on what I've read, the comic book Eternals are more interesting and it's more driven compared to the movie version of it. They made a lot of changes
In the movie. Compared to
especially
comic book.
especially with Icarus, because Icarus is like what you said, it's a loyal soldier, but in the comic book he's a great leader. He's actually a leader, not just a lieutenant to Ajax. And even in the comic book, the Prime Eternal is not Ajax. He or she is just one of the Eternals.
So he's the primary in
And he
the comic
loved
book.
human beings.
Who's
in the
the
comic book.
primary
I
Eternal
think
in the
it's
comic book?
Zeros or Zeros. Kind of like sounds like Zeus.
So
The
there's
word
a
Zeus,
one. There's a different character.
Even the motivation of why the Eternals were created, even the motives of the Celestials are different. For me, the comic books the comic book is more relatable and interesting. I think they tried so hard to connect the whole story of the Eternals to the MCU as much as they can, because we have how many movies in the MCU? 22 movies.
I think slightly more than that. I think like 25, 24.
Yeah, and they didn't even mention a single Eternal reference. So I don't know. For me, that's I think they should have stick to the original concept of the Eternals in the comic books. I don't know. But anyway, a while ago you said one of your favorite character there is Gilgamesh.
So who's your... Ako pa daw.
Go ahead.
Who's your favorite character?
I'm in the middle of questioning them.
Sorry.
You go ahead.
Ikaw na.
Go now. This is how we do our podcast. We have no coordination, we have no planning.
Ikaw na.
In short, we're a mess. Anyway. What about what?
No, I just wanted to know who's your favorite character and
that's my
who's
question
your
too. Who do you relate
whom you relate
to
to
the most? Except Sprite.
No, there's no exception. There's no exception.
I'm just kidding.
For me, it's Karun.
Very nice, sir.
Are you mental? Hide!
We need action sequences.
But when it comes to the Eternals, like all of the Eternals, I would probably say Druig.
Druig? Oh, why?
Yeah.
You wanted to control our mind. Take over the world.
Because his motivations are, I think his motivations is the clearest for me, because he wants to live in a world where it's peaceful and there's not a lot of fighting going on.
Yeah,
But don't you know, in the comic book, Druig was the original villain.
Really?
Yeah.
I can see that.
And Icarus was really the good guy, and I think they tried to what's the word?
Subvert expectations.
Yeah, exactly. So because a lot of people, or some, I think there's still thousands or millions of nerds out there. I think Marvel tried to give them a little twist, just like what we did with Captain Marvel, right? The Skrulls were actually good guys, where in the comic books they're always been bad guys. So there's, in the comic book, Druig was the original villain. Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
His motivation is justifiable.
Yeah. Also, I think Barry Keoghan is a really good actor. He's very underrated as well.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree.
He had the best scene, in my opinion, during that war, and that moment where they separated. It was upset and about seeing these people fighting. Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with Aidan and say that Icarus. Druig is a good character. I like how his motivations were mostly good, and it didn't seem like he would do anything bad to harm like other people.
Yeah.
But I can see how he could have become a villain, or like, because I've seen theories of people be like, oh, he might be the next villain or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. Maybe I'm just biased because I like the actor as well.
What's his name again? Barry
Keegan.
Have you heard the news, or I don't know if this is already confirmed, rumors that he's going to be the next Joker? Yeah, see?
So it's also your favorite character,
Druig?
No, I don't really have a favorite character.
Really? But if you're going to force you have to have a favorite character. Favorite character.
Gilgamesh, because I just thought he was like funny and a very warm-hearted character, and he was the nicest one.
But by the way, a little fun fact: do you know the actor who played Gilgamesh?
What's his name?
Dong
Lee.
Yeah, you know he's a Korean, right? Have you seen Train to Busan?
No, but he's in it.
Yeah, he's in it. Train to Busan. I don't know if you remember the guy who wrapped his arms with masking tape or packaging tape so that the zombies couldn't bite him. It's actually a good reference because his powers
relatable.
Yeah. Remember that? You saw Train to Busan, Eden?
I forget about it.
No.
We haven't seen Train to
I haven't seen
Busan,
that
but it's
one.
on my list. I was looking up the cast list and I saw his name and I looked at it.
Oh, you better watch it. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
But it's a typical zombie film or story. But as far as the delivery is concerned, it's a great movie. But anyway,
What's
just
your
a little fun
favorite
fact.
scene
Yeah,
in the
favorite
movie?
scene in the movie.
I don't know. I don't really have a favorite.
Except, not the part where
Or
Cersei
which part
and Icarus
stuck
did
you
it.
or something?
Were you allowed to watch that part? Did you cover your eyes when you saw
I
that?
close to my eyes.
I made fun of it.
you said that it's first time for
Yeah,
MCU.
I think that's the first time that they did
MCU
that.
movie,
MCU
because
movie.
normally MCU is for family. So they don't include that kind of scene.
Yeah, I was actually shocked when you first saw it in the movie theaters. You with your friends, were some of your friends? Whoa!
How was your reaction?
I covered my eyes. It was pretty dark though because it's at nighttime, so like you couldn't really see anything. So at first it didn't really click, and then my friend whispered about how it was like the first sex scene. It was like that was a sex scene, and I closed my eyes. I was so oh no.
How about you, Hayden? What can you say about that scene?
To be honest, I didn't really care.
Yeah, they can do it.
Yeah, I was just like, I'll allow it.
We love each other. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So going back, is there any do you have any favorite scene?
Or any scenes that struck you or something?
Except that scene.
If there's any. Yeah.
I liked the part where Athena was in the cave and she was fighting like one of the
deviant.
Yeah, one of
Pennywise.
the deviants. Yeah, Pennywise. The one- yeah.
Pennywise. Do you know who Pennywise is?
No.
Yeah, she's clueless about that. Pennywise. It's from It. Okay. Go
Okay.
ahead.
I liked that scene because I didn't really expect that she would like pull that off, like killing him just in time before she almost died herself. So that was really cool. It was nice to see her like come back from like all that has happened to her.
From being crazy.
Yeah, from having mad worries. Yeah.
How about you, Aiden? What's your favorite?
Or it just struck you?
It's on. Unfortunately, my favorite scene happened at the end of the movie.
When it ends? When the credits?
But like, no, not the credits. My favorite scene would be the Black Knight scene, where
Yeah, it's the ending, the end credits.
Yeah,
scene.
the end credits.
I knew it. That's what you're going to say.
when I realized that it was a cameo by Mahershala Ali, it got me really excited. Of Dame Whitman and Black Knight.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. At first, I didn't know who that was. But I think before you watch the movie, you already know that Mahershala Ali made a cameo,
Yeah.
right? So I'm
Yeah.
excited about that. So how about you? We've discussed this in the car on our way to school. What do you think Disney could have done to make this film work?
Or more interested in something.
Yeah. Especially, as we all do know, we have like 10 new characters being introduced to us.
Yeah.
And they try to cram it all in a 2.5-hour movie.
Yeah.
So it's very understandable that we couldn't relate or connect to the character. So
Given a chance.
what do you think Disney or Marvel could have done to make this movie, or to make the whole Eternal experience a little bit better?
I think they should have chosen which characters they were going to focus on, because it seemed like all over the place and you had to focus on each one of them and didn't have time to focus on each single Eternal. Whereas if they focused on like Cersei, for example, because she's at the beginning of the movie, you'd think they would focus more on her. But it just didn't seem like they were going that direction. They were trying to introduce each separate person at each time of the movie. But if they were going to focus on like Cersei and her journey, I think it would have been nice to have like her and Icarus, like they discuss what happened between her and Icarus more, because in the movies it's like, oh, he just left her and they're not on good terms. Whereas I would have liked it more like, oh, he did something bad to her, and like at the not the end, but before the final battle, she gets encouraged by Athena to kill the Celestial that's being tortured.
And take courage.
And it would have been nice to see throughout the movie like flashback scenes of her and Icarus essentially like belittling her or not seeing her as like powerful enough.
Or leadership material, having a leadership characteristic.
Like if seeing, because Icarus is like the strongest
Eternal
of them all.
So it would have been interesting to see that dynamic between them, where he loves her, but he's also like hurting her,
Abusive.
and then we see that when she realizes like she's greater than like she's been told she is, it would have been nice to, it would have been a bigger like impact when she finally killed the Celestial.
Yeah, I agree. How about you? What do you think Disney or Marvel could have done
to satisfy you?
Yeah.
I was thinking of like they should have had 5 characters, and those 5 characters should have been the main focus of the movie. And I felt like the Eternals should have been the Power Rangers of the MCU. Your Jason. So I would say the Jason of the group would be
Icarus. Okay.
But he'll have, like Ataya said, he'll be more of this abusive hero.
Not completely abusive, but like it would see, he would
in Tagalog.
She can explain more in English.
Go ahead.
Like he would seem more like the superior one compared to the rest of.
I think the 5 characters that should have played a big role in the movie was Icarus, Cersei, Druid, Macquarie, and I think adding a comic relief wouldn't work, so I would probably say
because they have their own comedic moments, right? So they don't really need one character who's giving all the jokes out.
So who's your top 5? It would be
Icarus, Cersei, Druid. Who's the other guy?
Macquarie and Fastos.
Macquarie and who?
Fastos.
Yeah, I agree. But Macquarie, I don't know. I almost forgot about Macquarie at the end. Didn't realize that. I almost forgot she was part of the Eternal until they reached the Domo.
Yeah.
If not, maybe Fina.
Yeah.
Of course, Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
And then we could have like Dame Whitman as the Sixth Ranger.
Dame Whitman. Yeah.
Actually, you said when we're watching it, he mentioned it that it's like a Power Ranger or something.
Yeah.
When they wear their suit.
Yeah. The suit. Actually, you're right.
That's cool.
But for me, if you will allow me to give my thoughts on how Disney or Marvel could have done. At least I think.
By the way, Aiden, are you done?
Are you done? Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I'd probably add like the relationship bit in, but like it will be more of a much better love triangle that makes more sense.
Yeah.
And I probably wouldn't put Dame Whitman at the sideline because I want him to be that character that represents the human side of things, just like Karun in
but a more serious one. Just comic relief. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Exactly, because Eternals are it's more of a relationship between the godlike creatures and the humans. So that makes sense. Yeah, for me, I think I finished. Sorry, if I keep on interrupting. That's just me. I apologize. For me,
now it's your turn.
I think the best way, and this is just my opinion, I'm not an expert, I'm not a writer. I think what they could have done, since they're introducing new characters, they should have introduced them in other movies, like make a cameo or a supporting role on different movies, just like what they did with Black Widow. When they first introduced Black Widow, she make an appearance in Iron Man 2. And what else? A small cameo of Hawkeye in Thor. Since we're going to we're going to look at 10 different characters, wherein they have 10 different stories. You cannot just cram it in 1 and 2.5 hour movie. So I think that's the one way of introducing the Eternals. The other way is to introduce these new characters by means of a series. Because that's what they're doing now. I mean, we have Moon Knight coming in. Miss Marvel, She-Hulk. These are all new characters. Even Kate Bishop is also a new character. As you all do know, I don't know if you've heard or read rumors that Marvel have a plan of putting all of these new young superheroes together to form the new Young Avengers. So to introduce them in different movies or series, I think that's the best way to have introduced the Eternals. And then, make this whole one movie where they cross over with each other. I think that's the best way. Otherwise, if they don't want that, they could have made it like a 4-hour movie, just like with the Snyder Cut. When the first Snyder Cut, when the first
Superman,
Justice League, when the first Justice League came out, we don't know. We already know who the Flash and Cyborg is, but the version of the DCEU we don't know. But the way that they were introduced, there are a lot of things that we really don't know about them. But so I think they need more time or more screen time for us to have a real connection with those characters. So that's why an additional 2 hours made it work. And here they have 10 characters. And I agree with Aiden, they should have started with just 5. That's why
or just focus on 5.
That's why
they can have 10, but just still focus on.
I don't think so. I think the other 5 will just be like background characters.
In the comic book, how many were there?
I don't know. I think there are more than 10.
There's like
more. So
there's a lot of Eternals. The Guardians of the Galaxy. No one know who the Guardians of the Galaxy are.
But
before they came out,
pick up like 4, 5.
All the 5 characters. That's why Aiden was right. Just focusing on small groups. Like 5 members. and then focus on them. And I think that would work. 2.5 hours. I think you have enough time for us to have a real connection with the Eternals. But then they, I don't know what Marvel's plan with the Eternals.
They didn't maximize Angelina Jolie as an actress in that
she was sidelined
movie.
Because she's crazy. I don't know. All of a sudden, she's just, I thought that when she was there in the middle of the desert, and I was actually afraid when she turned her face. I thought that she's going to have a very different face, like a jump scare thing, like you know what I'm saying. But anyway, that's just my point of view. How about you guys? You think that would work, or am I just being too ambitious?
I think the cameo would have worked for sure, because I know Gemma Chan was in a Marvel movie.
Marvel, yeah, but a different character.
Yeah, it's a different character, but I think it would have worked if she had been there, like in Cersei. It would have been a good introduction, I think. Yeah.
I've realized that if Eternals was a series, it might not work as much, like when it comes, like the film. If it was a film compared to that, because like Loki worked because it was the main character was someone that we knew.
Yeah.
Of course. And if you make a series out of new characters that we haven't met, but this time in space, it would be very difficult in some areas, of course. And the first few episodes would obviously be a lot of exposition, and not a lot of people like a lot of exposition.
Yeah.
I think it would also be hard because, like in the other series, it's only one character. Like Kate Bishop is a new character, but there's Hawkeye as well.
Yeah, but okay, go ahead.
She's from Earth. So, like, we don't even though she's new and we don't really know much about her, she's the only character that's new, that's like, I guess, important. So she's like the only focus. Whereas the Eternals, it's 10 of them, and it's like if they gave an episode each to each Eternal and then kind of just grouping them together as one, like in like a final episode, it would be kind of awkward, I think.
Okay. So what you're trying to say is that I'm wrong. Tito, you're wrong. You're stupid, Tito. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. No, all I'm trying to say is that they're doing it right now. Disney is actually doing that, introducing new characters that we haven't seen yet. Like what I said a while ago, Moon Knight, and She-Hulk will be coming out. Miss Marvel. Who else? I think they're going to introduce Ironheart in the Armor Wars. So for me, again, this is just my opinion. I don't know. I'm dumb. I'm stupid. I'm just suggesting. But because there's just so many characters, talented actors that put to waste, especially my ultimate crush, which is ironically is, for me, this is just my opinion, is the worst character in that movie. Because why is she there?
They can use any other actress, but I think they didn't maximize Angelina Jolie as an actress.
She's supposed to be Icarus might be the strongest, but Tina is the most better fighter or warrior, because she is the goddess of war. Anyway, and then she doesn't want to fight anymore because she's bipolar, I guess. Anyway, sorry.
Because she has a lot of memories that are
that came crashing in her head. Okay, I understand. So anyway, final thoughts, because we're already almost at the...
I would just have one last question. If you have like a lesson that you
is there any lesson that you learned from the Eternals?
This movie, or how can you relate it in your life or something?
I don't really have anything really that I could take from it.
Same.
I think I was just like,
take away.
There was nothing that you could really take away from it. I mean, when it came to like, oh, the London tea, was like, oh, I recognize that.
Yeah.
That's like the only thing related to in real life. But
Mhm.
other than that, I don't know if there's any lesson you could take from it.
Maybe like fighting and war and all that stuff is just bad, I guess.
Yeah,
Or
don't trust your ex that
yeah.
came back like 500 years later.
no, no.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. How about
Okay.
you? I think Tita has a lesson that she will try to teach us. Go ahead, Tita.
No.
You have no lesson?
No, I just
Go
thought
ahead.
of
You can speak in
how
Tagalog.
how Ajak mentioned about
love.
no, yung sinabi niya na he tried to, di ba sinabi ni ano pala?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Arishem.
Yeah?
And I fear that maybe this time, the cost.
Do not become attached to this planet. You must focus on the true purpose of your mission.
But that time na sinabi nila sa kanila, okay, go, you're free now. You can
Live your
live
life.
whatever life that you want and find your purpose. And one time when we see each other, then you can tell me what did you discover. So at the end, she says na people, parang nagustuhan niya yung earth ng people on the planet. People on the planet, they battle, they have conflicts, they fight each other, but they also love and care for each other. So still they are worth fighting for. Parang ganun. So that's it. That we can see it now na people, there are lots of conflicts in the world, but still it's good to live in the world or in the earth. Parang ganun.
Okay. All right. For me,
So
I think the lesson that I've learned is don't trust Harry Styles.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
I forgot
yes.
about that
It's
scene.
a character.
Everyone in the cinema was laughing when he came. Like they were like shocked. Yeah.
Some of my friends were saying, "Oh my gosh, it's Harry Styles!" And I was like,
Yeah, he's
Really?
actually a very controversial character if you read the comic books,
Yeah.
Arrows. So you read the comic books about Arrows?
I've read we've read stuff about his
Yeah.
character. It doesn't sound like so.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't include that in the movies.
yeah.
So,
I
yeah, so
hope.
that's my lesson. Don't trust Harry Styles. No, don't trust Arrows, the character.
Don't trust a relative or Thanos,
Yeah.
or a relative of the
Brother.
His
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
Thanos' brother.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's it. Thank you guys for giving us your time.
Do you
I
have
hope-
any other? Do you have last?
Do you have any last
any
message?
Do
Do you want to say
you want to say anything more?
before we go? Before we end this?
Well.
So are you going to recommend this movie or something?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Shout out to our lolas and our lolo.
Yeah. Tell them to watch
Tell them.
first.
Tell them. You can mention their name.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Mama Bucket and Papa Kai and Mommy Helen and all of our family in the Philippines.
They are from where?
From where in the Philippines?
They're both from Ilocos. My mom,
Yeah.
Mommy Helen is from Sinait, and Mama Bucket and Papa Kai are from Vegan.
Can you greet them in Filipino and in Ilocano? And yeah.
They don't.
Oh, I don't know
Good luck
Ilocano.
Ilocano.
Anyway, thank you guys for joining
Yeah.
us today. I know that
Aiden will say something.
Oh yeah, I was about to say make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, Idansky.
Aya has a channel. Go ahead. You
You
Yeah,
Aiden first. You do Aiden first.
Go first.
Subscribe to my channel Idansky. I'll be posting content really soon, and it will be about Cobra Kai. So
Hi.
And I have I
No
have
mercy.
one as well. It's just my name, Ilustre. I haven't posted on it yet, but I'm planning on posting covers of music and just fun stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, by
Yeah,
the
we will
way,
also put the link below in the description so that they can
they can click the link and go
and
to your
then
pages.
yeah.
And again, thank you guys. I know you guys are busy.
Yeah.
I know you have social lives. Pals or mates
Thank
that
you so much
thank you so much
for sharing your time with us.
Yeah, we hope that you enjoy.
And we really had fun. And yeah.
It's good to it's good to have a conversation with the kid.
really
Makes you feel younger.
Yeah. Young minds.
Like 2 hours younger. Anyway, so
thank
to
you very
everyone,
much, Aya and
thank you
Eden.
very
Having
much.
us.
Yeah, I hope that this wouldn't be the last.
Yeah.
Because I'm really planning about talking about Peacemaker with Aiden because he's watching that. Yeah, you go watch that too. Aya, it's a good.
So we can invite you again.
Yeah, we can invite you again. No pressure. No pressure. No pressure. It's okay. But anyway,
maybe and your other sister
maybe
Yani can join next time. No, it wouldn't be.
It wouldn't be Peacemaker though because it's not for kids.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. And with that, we would like to say thank you to everyone who listened and watched this episode. We hope that you have fun as much as we do. And also, don't forget to click the links of these two wonderful kids for their pages. And we hope to see you next time. Once again, dito sa
Nerding
with
with
You.
You.
Bye-bye.